The Real Estate Radio Show comes your way each and every Saturday, featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group here at 580 KIDO at Keller Williams Realty Boise. And Chris, as always, doesn't matter if it's a holiday, Monday, Friday, but more importantly, people say, what does Chris do when you guys get done on Saturday? Well, we usually go have a cup of coffee or a soda and talk about what's going on. Your phone starts ringing. You say, I got to go show a house. I got to take care of my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. We're available to everyone, 7 days a week. We have agents. I'm out there. Jerry's out there. Travis Jeffers works with us as well, and that's always available too. So if you have any questions, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 514-5003, or you can always email me at chris@CLG, Chris Lofthus Group, Eagle.com.
All right, real quick, I just got a text that said, Dave, you'd mentioned the secret list. Remind me again what the secret list is. So tell our listeners, I know we talk about it every week, but about the time somebody says, what's a secret list? They're just starting to figure it out. Yeah,
we finally, and there's a link on our website. If you go on the webpage, you'll see there's a link on the right-hand side there to the secret list. And basically what it is, you can go on there, register, kind of tell us what your guidelines are, what you're looking for, and we have a list of properties that people necessarily don't want to put on the market. We discuss this every week. For many reasons, they don't want family knowing they're going to sell the house. They have small kids; they don't want to be showing the property, or just in general, they're saying, you know what, we don't want to go through the process of selling our house, having a lockbox on, etc. So we just kind of compile these. Our group, the Chris Lofthus Group, we compile these and keep them in a file, so we know they're there. And if you reach out to us and say, you know what, I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in Meridian in the 250 range, we've been looking, we can't find anything we like. Do you have anything? And there's a good shot that we'll have it.
And you said some cases you might knock on a door, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've done it many times where people can't find, especially we're down to 2,200 homes, and that if history repeats itself, we're going to be down to about 1,400 homes come the winter time, and people still buy. Fourth quarter is always the biggest quarter for us, has been for the last 4 years in a row, and so we've had people all the time. They'll say, hey, we really like Two Rivers, or we like Settlers Bridge, whatever, in Meridian, and we'll go find a house for you, and we have no problem knocking on the door. And you'd be surprised how many people are open to the fact of possibly selling their house.
So when you knocked on our door, the kids said you were trying to sell cookies or something. So anyhow, our guest today is Dennis Schaffner, Schaffner Fine Homes, and I must say I was remiss. I talked about what a great builder you are, but you are a registered master builder. Share with us, Dennis, the top 10 turnaround towns for the second quarter, which just wrapped up. Tell our listeners about that turnaround. Is it true? Are you seeing it? It's one thing to read it, but you get to see it.
Well, I think it's factual. I get a lot of information every day on the market, both locally and across the country. There are this particular study is from 146 housing markets across the United States. So the top 10 are, and I'll just go down them quickly, Phoenix, Mesa area is number 1, Oakland number 2, Miami number 3, Boise number 4.
Wow.
That's huge. San Jose, California, Seattle, Bellevue, Washington, Bakersfield, California, San Francisco, Fresno, and Santa Barbara. The interesting thing about this is that we're starting to see areas in the Northwest, on the West Coast, that are starting to come back. And in the past, it's always been once we saw California start to move again, or we see Washington start to move again, Arizona start to move again, that's where our client base is coming from. That frees people up. That brings them here. That's good news.
Yeah, he's exactly right. And that's what we're hearing from people too. When you watch, these numbers, especially new construction, I think what's happening because inventory levels are so low in general across the board. But you start looking at these numbers and you start looking at new construction price going way up, volume going way up. And so you start looking at these moves that are making, and the people I see and talk to every day is you are getting these California people, you are getting Oregon, you get in Washington. We talk about this all the time. Ada County, it's going to do great. Yeah, it ramped up and got out of control, but it's going to do great overall because, for example, when I moved here out of California and we started looking, you really don't have much of an option. I mean, Boise's really your best option. If you want to stay close to the West Coast and you want to have mild temperatures, you want to have a reasonable cost of living and reasonable, affordability for housing, Boise's your place. And Dennis, you can say this too. If you look at some of the other cities on there, they were really depressed. And so you look at Phoenix, you look at Miami especially. I mean, it was probably one of the worst markets. So we weren't necessarily, we have some market correction over the last, year or so where we're going to start seeing more appreciation again. But in general, we won't hurt that much. So for us to be number 4 for top turnaround in cities is pretty impressive.
Well, and the most important thing with both of you, Chris and Dennis, is the fact that you guys are out there every day. We always say it's one thing to get on a platform and talk about it, but you're building, you're selling, so you guys see it firsthand. I'm blessed because I get to be in the show. I'm kind of I got the backstage pass to what you guys do. I guess, Dennis, one of the pieces that keeps coming to my mind is, so you've won me over. I guess you won Claudia over, and so now I'm like, my next house, if I can build one, I want Dennis to do it. I guess the question that keeps hitting me is, I think you're the best builder around. You've got all these elements. Can I get you to build my home, or are you so busy? And I guess what I'm working at as far as a customer out there, a potential customer that's listening, say, yeah, I want this guy to build my home. Is he so busy he can't do it? Or have you got your team set up so you bet we can take care of everybody?
To answer your question, anytime you want a home, you call me.
Yeah.
We'll have it built for you.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. It's all about structure, and it's all about coordination and management of the process, which we do extremely well.
Yeah.
So we have probably, when things were really cranking, we build about 100 homes a year.
Wow.
So you can see that this is really not a challenging environment in terms of number of homes. So, we have the ability to do that at different price points as well.
And that's the one thing, too, about Dennis is the one thing you're going to lose. So if Dennis is doing 20 homes a year or 100 homes a year, obviously he's still here. He's still, kicking after all this has gone through. But the one thing you're not going to lose is quality. So you're not going to lose the quality like some of these home builders. Right. You start getting up, they start getting out of control again and everything. It's the quality is still going to be there for you.
Well, and that goes back to the registered master builder. And Chris, right. I know you guys went to his open house at Spurwing Greens, and he's there. It's kind of like the guy that built the car. Where did he go?
Right.
We don't know where he's at. I think that says a lot about what he does. I'm here. If you have any questions, you think something, hey, let's go break it down. I'll show it to you.
Well, he does. I talked to Dennis, a couple nights ago. We were chatting about it, and the amount of time that he spent in that parade homes. I mean, he might as well live there. So that's.
Well, did you see the house? I want to live there too.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right, Dennis, and you can kind of touch on this a little bit, and that's really what I like about Dennis. If you have a problem, you're building a house, or if I'm having a problem as a realtor, I call Dennis. Dennis answers his phone. If Dennis doesn't answer his phone, he gets back to me pretty quick. He's available by email, and so the communication factor with Dennis is what I like. And Dennis, you'd say too. So too is that it's big for you. You want your customers to talk to you.
Well, and they want to talk to the builder. Everybody wants to talk to the builder, and nothing against agents. I mean, it's just that's the source. So if they have a question and it's something that they need in terms of reassuring them or answering questions, and as I always tell all my clients or potential clients, there's not a silly question, there's not a dumb question. Every question is important and needs an answer. I'm available, 866-3446. You can get me day or night.
All right. And Dennis, real quick, give your email and your website.
It's Dennis at Schaffner Homes, plural, HOMES.com. And that's my email, the website. I think Dave's already said that. And we are available. We meet with you anytime, any place. And the one thing that we do is we spend a lot of time with our clients up front. We answer questions. We make sure there's clear understanding of what they want. We know what they want. They know what they want, because a lot of times they don't know. So we try and answer those questions, put them at ease, so that the time that the building process begins, we've taken the trauma out of it. So they just sit back and enjoy the process.
That's SchaffnerHomes.com. So we want to remind you if you missed it, it's SCHAFFNER, SchaffnerHomes.com. All right, we'll continue on with the show. We'll be back after this time out. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group.